What's going on, everybody? It's Coach Monty here, and today let's talk about MLB The Show 24. Game comes out on Friday for those who have pre-ordered the Digital Deluxe Edition, and this game looks like it's going to be even better than last year, and hopefully we can dive into some of that new stuff right now. To start out, they've got some new gameplay improvements. Obviously, they always have their new animations that they bring in. They've got new throws from first base. So this will help those base running cheesers not be able to take home base whenever you're just an easy ground out to first base and you got a runner rounding third. The first baseman should come off the bag a little bit more with some urgency and throw the guy out at home rather than just coming off nice and slow, acting like there's nobody else on the field. They've got new pitcher animations for trying to step off and fake throw to try to pick people off. So that'll be good. And then they put in the new bigger bases for this year. So they had to come up with new logic and tag animations since the bases are a little bit bigger this year. The big change is for those who use pinpoint pitching. They have new gestures for the sinker, the slurve, and then if you're a lefty versus a righty, you have to go the opposite way now. So it just makes it a little bit harder to do that and adds a little more skill gap there. Not too bad though. They also added something called impact plays, which this helps those Road to the Show players, especially, and it may be in those Derek Jeter moments or whatever those are. This will help make defense feel like it's actually adding something and it's not just like this mundane task. So with this, I'll show you this clip here and we'll just watch along. So with first base actually gets some plays now where you actually have to pick the ball out of the dirt. And you have to get it perfect, it looks like, to actually see anything happening. So that's really cool, especially for a first baseman who's played first base in their lifetime. They probably want to have that kind of interaction on the field in this game as well. So now you get to see him successfully pick this ball. And I think that's just a great addition to the game. They've also got it for robbing home runs and diving. And then they've got it for the catchers here too. This should improve catcher gameplay as well, because now you have to make the tag at home plate. That feels like a big moment. You're saving a run. So I just think this is an overall great idea, especially for those Road to the Show players. They did a bunch of updates to the face scans and skin and eyes. And apparently the hair has movement now as well. So if you got somebody who's got longer hair, that's going to move as they're running and hitting and things like that. So that'll be cool to see. The other big thing in Road to the Show that they added this year is being able to create a female player. Instead of, just this is a male-dominated sport, you can now reach another population of MLB The Show with females, and they can kind of see themselves in the game, which they don't get that very often. So they're kind of following in the footsteps of NBA 2K, where they added women a couple years ago, and now you can do that in MLB The Show as well. And they say they've got new and improved personalized stories just for the women, because they are creating they would be the first MLB woman to ever play if this is successful and they make it to the MLB, so that's pretty cool to see there as well. Now here's my favorite mode, and that's Diamond Dynasty. So I kind of want to dive pretty deep into this. In this article, they talk about seasonal Diamond Dynasty instead of they had sets last year. So these are seasons again. But this time they're doing a power creep, which will help not have every team that you play be 99 overall at launch. Like, you're going to have those people who do it because they're going to go out and buy the collection rewards and all of that. They're going to buy all these players. You're going to have that still, but it won't be that many. Not everybody can do that. So this here says some of the highest rated season 1 cards will be 91 overall at launch. And that means there's going to be a lot of silver and gold teams before they reach the high 90 overalls, because Team Affinity is going to be 3 chapters each season. Every 4 weeks, there's going to be more Team Affinity cards. In-season cards, again, it's going to work the same way. You can use Season 1 cards in Season 1, but then in Season 2, you have to unlock wildcard slots, which there looks like there's up to 4 wildcard slots now, but you have to unlock those. You can still use the core cards in all the seasons, which that's the live series players from all 30 MLB clubs. Let's see what else. Yeah, the wildcard slots. Here we go. You can now unlock multiple wildcard slots, up to 4 total, from the Season XP reward path beginning in Season 2. So you can't even unlock those until Season 2. But if you're thinking about that ahead of time, you can kind of plan your team around who you would want as your Season 1 keepers into Season 2. Here's something really cool as well. Instead of those captain cards, they changed the name to cornerstone cards. And looking at these 4 that you get to choose from, you got Nolan Arenado, you got Byron Buxton, you got Kodai Senga, and Greg Maddux. So that's really cool to see this. I will show a couple of stats of these guys a little bit later here, and what they do to help improve your team. But these cards look like they're going to be really good cards and also have a big effects for your team if you use them correctly. Let's see. In addition to Cornerstone Choice Packs, Diamond Dynasty players will also find a 5-pack seasonal starter bundle in their inventories to help build their lineup and fill collections. Okay, so you get 5 show packs to start the year. Each season, I should say. And then you get Head Start rewards will return at the start of Season 2. Players will receive better rewards depending on how well they perform in the previous season. So that's good. You just get free packs. Free packs is always good. Then content schedule update. Seasons will run 12 weeks, so 3 months. They anticipate some of the highest rated Season 1 cards to start at 91. That makes sense. And then continue to get those 99s overall. I guess the collection rewards will still have those 99s. So I don't know who that collection reward will be this year. So we'll have to see. I'm assuming they would do maybe Derek Jeter, since he's the face athlete on a whole other section of this. So maybe they just do that. We don't really know. But that's my guess to start right now. And they just go on here and talk about the gradual climb and overall each season. There's one outlier, the Live Series Collection reward. There you go. So yeah, the power creep is going to be a big thing. It will help just feel like those that are good at the game will feel like they're good at the game because they're using these lower overalls and still winning games. It won't be as easy as just hitting home runs every game because you have 9 players with 120 plus power. And that's just not going to be a thing. Another big change is sellable rewards. In 2024, there will be more ways to attain higher tier reward cards for multiplayer modes like Ranked, Battle Royale, and Events. Ranked programs will now be sellable, including a new exclusive program player reward for you to earn in Ranked Solo or Co-op gameplay. I love playing with my friends on here, so having a hopefully that rank system will be a lot better on co-op this year, because in the past it just has not been great. It's been fine, but the only way you can really get that rewards is just playing innings was the big thing. So I'm hoping that'll be good. Battle Royale Flawless will start at 10-0 now for the best reward pack, which it was 12-0 for the last couple years. And then events will last 2 weeks now, giving us plenty of time to grind out those programs instead of being just a few days long. So now those of us who can't play every single day because it's not our jobs, we can actually try to get these events done and get some of those cards that other people get that we wouldn't be able to get. Expecting rewards here, we set out to create a better balance of how our players can earn rewards. If you focus on multiplayer modes like ranked, battle royale, and events, you'll have the opportunity to earn higher rated rewards initially. On the other hand, if you prefer single player modes like mini seasons, conquest, and showdown, you'll have the opportunity to earn better rewards over time as overall progression escalates. Okay, so there you have it. You know, if you're a multiplayer guy, you're probably going to get those rewards a little bit faster than some single player guys, but I do a little bit of both. I love playing ranked. I'm trying to get better at battle royale, and I'm trying to get better at events. Hopefully with the events being a little bit longer, I'll have more incentive to actually work on those this year. But in the past, I've just kind of brushed them off. Then, yes, like I mentioned earlier, there's 3 chapters to Team Affinity than ever before. So chapter 1 is at launch, obviously. So immediately when this game comes out on Friday, you can go ahead and grind those Team Affinity. Chapter 2 is mid-April. Chapter 3 is in May. It's going to be 30 new cards every time a chapter drops. So right now, you've got Brian Dozier, who is a new legend for MLB 2024. So that'll be a great card, I'm sure. I mean, looking at his power and his contact numbers right now, 89 power versus right, a 101 power versus left, and solid contact numbers, that's great. Defense is a little bit lower, but he is a second baseman, so it's not like he needs super high defense. He can kind of just sit over there, and if this power creep is going to be a hard thing to do, he might be one of the best second basemen out there right now. He said solid fielding and arm, a little bit on the slower side, but that's not too bad. You can get some base running with that. Here you got Vlad. I mean, Vladimir Guerrero, the senior, of course. And he is pretty solid. I expected a little bit higher power numbers from him. So that's interesting to see. But his arm strength is super high, so I know they made a new thing of outfielders being a little bit better at catching the ball and throwing it back in quickly rather than catching the ball, taking 5 steps in the outfield, maybe running into the wall, whatever it is, trying to tie their shoe before they throw the ball in like they did last year. So hopefully this arm strength is going to stop runners from running as much. This is going to be very interesting this year because of all the gameplay changes in the outfield and how they just made everybody a little bit smarter and faster as MLB players. Then they went into a little bit of a Q&A. Will it take longer to earn Team Affinity? So now there's 3 chapters, but they will be a little bit quicker than years past because in the past you had a whole season to kind of figure those out. You have to play specific modes to earn Team Affinity rewards. It says, choose your own path. Expect moments, multiplayer missions, single-player missions, repeatable missions, conquest maps, showdowns, and exchanges with each new drop. So I think that's pretty normal for most of the years in the past. Repeatable ways to earn Team Affinity progress. Yes, Team Affinity vouchers can be earned repeatedly in a number of modes, and you can choose where in the 6 Team Affinity programs. Okay, that's probably a little bit newer. Usually you only got those vouchers from mini seasons, so maybe in ranked rewards now you get those or something like that. Who knows? Then obviously you can see the progress where you typically do. And this is interesting. You just have to tally 8 innings pitched with AL East players and multiplayer Diamond Dynasty game modes, and that's repeatable now. That's interesting because now you can actually play ranked Battle Royale in events and actually use some of these Team Affinity players and just kind of see. And I don't know how much these are worth for your Team Affinity progress, but instead of like offline grinding all the time, you can also play ranked and get these players. Like it says, play your own way, and go from there. Here it says, before we go, they wanted to send a huge shout out to everybody in the MLB Show community. Your passion shines through clearly in all the lively discussion and constructive feedback posted every single day. So when you're looking at this is a new card. I'm not sure who this is, but I love the background design of it. It looks great. And I'm excited to see this card whenever it actually gets posted and we can see who it is. Right here, we can dive into Team Affinity Season 1, Chapter 1. AL East Team Affinity players. You got Evan Longoria. You've got Kevin Youkilis. You got Gary Sanchez. You got Sean Green. And you got Cedric Mullins. Right off the bat, I can tell you 2 of my favorites will be Gary Sanchez and Cedric Mullins. Their swings in this game are always so good. And, I mean, let's just take a look at Gary Sanchez's stats real quick. Here you have Gary Sanchez at 98 contact versus left, 96 power versus right, 111 power versus left, and he's got gold defense. His contact versus right isn't great, but it doesn't really matter with him. His swing is so good. And with these power numbers, he's probably going to be one of the best catchers to start the game with this power creep coming into this. Evan Longoria, his contact numbers are pretty low, but he's got really high defense, really high fielding. So a solid third baseman to start over there. Power numbers are solid. So he will be somebody who could be okay. You probably get away with using him. Probably are going to have to in most cases because there's a power creep this year. And I can't stress that enough. This game's going to be different than the last couple of years. Kevin Youkilis. Solid numbers across the board for hitting, besides that power versus left. The thing you got to get over is his weird batting stance, because it's just weird, just strange. I'm not a huge fan of it. But again, diamond defense at first base, really good fielding, really good reaction time. So he'll be able to kind of dig out some of those balls if you end up in the yellow of your rows across the diamond. Cedric Mullins, another card that I absolutely love hitting with. He just makes good contact. He's got contact versus righties at 95. Versus lefties, it's 80. Power versus righties is 88. Power versus lefties is 70. Good solid vision. Solid bunting if that's your thing. I'm not a huge bunter, but there it is. Good fielding. His arm isn't very strong, but it'll do okay. Especially if you play him in the secondary position at left. He'll be okay. But his speed is an 82. Stealing is an 85. That 82 speed will be good for the base running. And I think overall he will be a pretty solid card overall. Then you got Sean Green here. I mean, just solid hitting numbers all the way around. His discipline's very high. And his durability is high. Fielding across the boards, right there at the 71, 72, 73 mark. Not too bad. A little bit slower, but not terrible. You know, there's probably going to be better options out there for him, but who knows? Another new legend for this game is Mr. Bernie Williams of the Yankees. He's got really good contact numbers at 92 and 104. His power isn't terrible, sitting at 71 and 73, so not terrible. And it's got diamond defense with that 84 fielding, 82 arm accuracy, 84 accuracy. That's arm strength, sorry, 82 arm strength, 84 accuracy. Good solid speed at 77. So all the way around is a solid player and will make a great outfielder for you, especially early on. Again, this power creep is changing the game. You won't have access to these 99s that we've had in the past, where all their hitting numbers are over 100. They're always going to be diamond defense. You're gonna see people struggle a little bit more this year because the game is just gonna be a little different. But this is a solid card all the way around. This clip here kind of shows how these outfielders will have better movements. So he catches the ball, he runs into the wall. I mean, this one, there's no runners on, so he still kind of drifts a little bit. But the wall animation itself was pretty quick. He pushes off very fast. And again, in this clip, here he is again, this time running on second. Runs into the wall, immediately pushes off, gets the ball in. So that in past years, this guy with 53 speed would probably be rounding third by the time you get this guy off the wall and ready to throw the ball in. So a guy with like 99 speed would be rounding third headed for home if, he was super crazy. So here's where you can see where these cornerstone cards kind of take a little bit more of effect. Here you got the Byron Buxton card. He is going to boost hitters who have under 60 vision, which, keep in mind, this is going to be a lot of the live series cards and potentially even some of these team affinity cards because of the power creep. The max is going to be 89 overall. So tier 1 boost for him is plus 5 power versus righty, plus 5 power versus lefties for 5 hitters under 60 vision on your squad. Tier 2, if you've got 8 hitters under 60 vision on your squad, you get plus 10 power on both sides, plus 5 speed, and plus 5 fielding ability. Tier 3 is 11 hitters with under 60 vision on your squad, plus 15 power, plus 10 speed, and plus 10 fielding ability. These roster constructions are going to be so awesome because you're going to be able to do so much with this right here. Plus 15 power have both sides if you have a really bad vision team, which vision for me is not something I consider very highly whenever I'm looking at a player to start. So I'm okay with this. I'm sure there's going to be some good players with under 60 vision. I think I read, if I remember correctly, that Mike Trout at the end of last year had less than 60 vision on his live series card, or maybe right at it. So that's very interesting. If you can get Mike Trout plus 15 power versus right and left, plus 10 speed and plus 10 fielding ability, that he's going to be even more insane. It's crazy. Then we have the Greg Maddux here. He can boost hitters who are under 70 power and pitchers who are under 75 K per 9. The tier 1 boost is plus 5 walks per 9 and plus 5 batting clutch. And for that, you need 7 hitters with under 70 power versus right and pitchers with under 75 K per 9 on your squad. Tier 2 is 10 hitters with under 70 power versus right and pitchers with under 75K per 9 on your squad. And for that, you get plus 10 walks per 9, plus 5 hits per 9, plus 5 stamina, plus 10 batting clutch. And tier 3 is 13 hitters with under the 70 power versus right and pitchers with under 75K per 9 on your squad. This gives you a plus 15 walk per 9, plus 10 hit per 9, plus 10 stamina, plus 15 batting clutch. So Craig Maddox not only boosts your pitchers, but he also adds batting clutch to your hitters that are under those 70 power marks. That's insanity to me. This should be something that is easily get. Now, we don't know about what Senga's cornerstone improvements are or what Nolan Arenado's is. So that'll be interesting because you could see Nolan Arenado being maybe fielding is his main thing that he boosts. It's hard to tell. Senga, I'm not quite sure what his would be, but it will be interesting to see those two as well. I'm a big-time Cardinal fan, so I want to lean Nolan Arenado off to start, but this Byron Buxton card already, Byron Buxton is usually a good card to have anyways, but then with all of these tier boosts, he might be the pick, and it might not be very close. So thanks for coming out today, guys. Thanks for watching the video. If you don't mind liking, subscribing, leaving a comment if you enjoyed this content, and I will see you on Friday with gameplay content, probably. So I'm super excited about this. Again, can't wait to be playing MLB The Show 2024. Right here, we can dive into Team Affinity's